In March, President Trump signed an order pushing federal agencies to share vast amounts of personal data, sparking fears of a massive centralized surveillance database. And while he stayed mostly quiet on the subject publicly, his team has been quietly laying the groundwork, partnering heavily with Palantir, a data company with deep ties to government intelligence and law enforcement. At first, I was drawn into looking into Palantir because of their name, because it's from Lord of the Rings. But the more I dug, the more unsettled I became. Palantir has been behind some of the scariest government moves in history. Since Trump took office, Palantir has secured over $113 million in federal contracts, as well as a staggering $795 million deal with the Pentagon. They're also in talks to bring their technology into the Social Security Administration and the IRS. So what exactly is Palantir? How did a company named after Tolkien's mystical seeing stones become central to a plan that could reshape American privacy and civil liberties? And most importantly, why? And why should you care? Let's go down the Palantir rabbit hole. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I'm Evie, and we do 5 videos a week on whatever is happening in the world. Don't miss out on this red hot information, okay? If you subscribe, you will have good luck this week. Last week, the New York Times dropped a bombshell. The Trump administration's partnership with Palantir could lead to a nationwide database of personal information, handing the president unprecedented surveillance power. This isn't just about national security. It's about control. We're in the dystopia. We're in it. How did we get here? To understand, we need to look at the origins of Palantir, a company founded in the early 2000s by right-wing billionaire and ham sandwich come to life, Peter Thiel. He was joined by venture capitalists and entrepreneurs, Joe Lonsdale, Stephen Cohen, and Alex Karp, who currently serves as the company's CEO. Peter chose the name Palantir after the crystal balls used in Lord of the Rings. You know when Gandalf shows up to have a chat with his bro Saruman and he's like, "Oh yeah, hey Gandalf, I've been talking to Sauron with these orbs." And Gandalf's like, what the hell? In that scene, Gandalf says,
"They are not all accounted for, the lost seeing stones. We do not know who else may be watching."
So, it's an interesting name for a company being accused of enabling mass surveillance. Peter Thiel himself is an important part of the puzzle here. He's a Silicon Valley billionaire, conservative kingmaker, and co-founder of PayPal. He once ousted Elon Musk as PayPal CEO and took the role for himself in 2000. In 2004, he made a legendary move by investing $500,000 in Facebook, a stake that grew to over $1 billion. In my corner of the world, he's famous for controversially being awarded New Zealand citizenship in 2011 after only spending 12 days here. It's a political move by a previous government which is still brought into question now. Honestly, let me know if you want the deets on this. Bunch of billionaires who came down here, spent some money, we let them stay. I'm happy to make a video on it if you are interested. Anyway, Peter said Palantir was a mission-oriented company, which could apply software similar to PayPal's fraud recognition systems to reduce terrorism while preserving civil liberties. Remember that. Lock that away somewhere. In 2004, Peter handed the reins over to Alex Karp, his former Stanford classmate with a PhD in neoclassical social theory. And while the company initially struggled to find investors, 2 people stepped up with the cash: Peter himself and the CIA. So why did the CIA invest in this obscure tech startup? Because Palantir isn't just about crunching numbers. It's about making sense of chaos, turning raw data into tools of power. The company essentially turns swamps of data into clear visuals like maps, histograms, and link charts. In just days, its forward-deployed engineers can integrate and analyze a customer's data, tackling issues from terrorism to disaster response and human trafficking. Palantir has become a top choice for analyzing massive data sets in intelligence and law enforcement. They offer sleek software and on-site coders who tailor solutions to each client. And the more data that you give them, the more they can tell you. And whether you knew it or not, Palantir's technology has quietly played a pivotal role in shaping some of the most significant global events since its inception. In the 2000s, US Marines used their technology for forensic analysis of roadside bombs in Afghanistan. In 2011, the hacker collective Anonymous exposed Palantir employees for their involvement in a proposed disinformation campaign aimed at discrediting WikiLeaks and tarnishing its supporters' reputations. Their technology allowed the IDF to use AI in its war effort. At least one Palantir employee played a role in assisting Cambridge Analytica in collecting Facebook data later utilized by the Trump campaign during the 2016 election. Palantir technology was even used to track and kill Osama bin Laden, although the company remains a bit tight-lipped on that one. In the book The Finish, author Mark Bowden writes that Palantir's software actually deserves the popular designation killer app. But CEO Alex Karp doesn't seem like a killer. Unlike most Silicon Valley leaders, Karp supported President Biden with a hefty donation, and he supported Kamala Harris over Trump in 2024. He's known to be an odd guy who prefers solitude, and he's been described as unable to hide his ADHD. Relatable. People also describe him as charming and unique. Also relatable. He rocks the old-school classic Silicon Valley look, jeans and a t-shirt. In a New York Times piece that combined multiple interviews with him, he said that without Palantir, you would have had massive terror attacks in Europe already, like October 7 style, and those attacks, he believed, would have propelled the far right to power. So how has he ended up working so heavily with the Trump administration then? He claims he's progressive, that he doesn't want the far right in power, and yet here he is, at the center of a storm created by his own company's ties to some of the most dangerous and powerful governments on Earth. Part of the answer lies in his ideology. He is deeply committed to a vision of Western dominance, one where technology secures America's place as a global leader. Palantir does not do business with China, Russia, or any countries that are opposed to the West. Alex says, "We have a consistently pro-Western view, that the West has a superior way of living and organizing itself, especially if we live up to our aspirations. It's interesting how radical that is, considering it's not, in my view, that radical." He added, "I'm not going to apologize for defending the US government on the border, defending the special ops, bringing the people home. I'm not apologizing for giving our product to Ukraine or Israel or lots of other places." Peter Thiel, though, who remains chairman and a major shareholder of Palantir, is an open Trump supporter. In 2016, some Democrats regarded Palantir as spooky and untrustworthy because of this, and in 2019, protests sprung up about the company's work at the US border, namely tracking undocumented migrants for deportation. That same year, more than 200 Palantir employees wrote to Karp, voicing concerns about the company's software being used by ICE. An internal campaign urged him to donate profits from a $49 million ICE contract to charity, but it failed. This resistance from within Palantir highlights the tension between the company's actions and its leadership's ideology. A key part of understanding Alex Karp's decisions, particularly in his work with the Trump administration, again lies in his worldview. Him and Trump have something in common: paranoia. While I've been looking into this dude and this company, I've noticed a running theme. Karp appears driven by a deeply ingrained sense of paranoia, a belief that America is on the brink of a fight for its liberties, with the West constantly under threat. He said, "I want less war. You only stop war by having the best technology and by scaring the bejeebers, I'm trying to be nice here, out of our adversaries. If they are not scared, they don't wake up scared, they don't go to bed scared, they don't fear the wrath of America will come down on them. They will attack us. They will attack us everywhere." He also has, a pretty casual approach to the idea of using his technology to kill civilians. I'd have many more qualms if I thought our adversaries were committed to anything like the rule of law. A lot of this does come down to, do you think America is a beacon of good or not? I think a lot of the critics, what they actually believe is America is not a force for good. No comment from me on that one. These views, though, do echo a certain Trump-like logic. a black and white belief in America's righteousness and an ends justify the means mentality. This brings us to the heart of the matter. Palantir isn't just a contractor. It's the linchpin in a growing network of government surveillance with the potential to reshape privacy in America as we know it. Even Palantir employees are worried about what's going on, with internal letters pushing for the company to stop its work with Trump. And one strategist, named Brianna Catherine Martin, posted on LinkedIn that she was departing the company because of its expanded work with ICE. Now, let's take a deep breath, because it's time to try and figure out what all of this means for you. President Trump's push to merge government power with private surveillance tech aims to create a national citizen database, the last step towards a digital dictatorship. Armed with AI and unchecked authority, this isn't about security, it's about control. Last month, Trump signed an executive order on policing, written in all caps, naturally, strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. The executive order mobilizes military and national security assets for local policing. It also boosts federal support for state and local law enforcement and strengthens police protections. Combine this with a possible database that knows everything about you and can live track your movements, and you have a recipe for something truly terrifying. A digital prison where freedom is an illusion and every move, word, and thought is tracked, scored, and used to enforce a new hierarchy of control. In this new system, innocence won't matter. The algorithm will define you. I know I'm being dramatic, but this isn't a dystopian novel. This is America now, and Palantir are at the center. Remember Peter Thiel's quote from earlier? He said Palantir's mission was to reduce terrorism while preserving civil liberties. But what is his definition of terrorism? What is his definition of civil liberties? The technology he funded is behind war crimes and now mass surveillance. He has become Sauron, Karp is Saruman, and Palantir is the ring. And Palantir may be the ring in this analogy, but unlike Tolkien's story, this fight is not over. Staying informed and holding tech companies accountable is one way to ensure the One Ring doesn't fall into the wrong hands. But much like the One Ring, it can only be destroyed where it was made, inside Palantir itself. It's too late for anything else. A lot to ponder, a lot to ponder. Bye.